Apple Arcade and Google Stadia are enticing options for developers. Once a game is accepted, they're off the hook for all those expensive UA campaigns and guaranteed some kind of a fee or revenue source. In other words, they can spend their time doing what they love to do best, create games. But participation in the subscription services raises many questions for developers in the industry. Let's look at a few. Subscription versus the App Stores. It will be interesting to see how Apple positions its App Store via this Apple Arcade. For instance, given its emphasis on service-based revenue, will Apple attempt to make Arcade more premium than the App Store? Or will the opposite be true, meaning the better games are reserved for the App Store? And what will happen if a game developer is wildly successful with the subscription service? Will it opt to leave the service and launch its own, as Disney so chose when it opted to leave Netflix? If so, it will lead to further fragmentation in the market, and that leads one to ask, how many subscriptions can we reasonably expect consumers to pay? Xbox and Ubisoft already offer a subscription service, and one wonders how many the market will support. To play or not to play in the subscription services, we've seen indications that the subscription services may demand exclusivity, meaning if Apple Arcade offers a game, it can't be available on any other platform or in an app stores. If exclusivity becomes the standard, developers will need to decide how to best monetize existing and future games. In other words, do you want your latest game featured in, say, Apple Arcade, which means that only players who pay Apple a subscription fee can play it? Or would you prefer to offer it in the app stores, where it can be free to all players and supported by ads and in-app purchases? I see this as a potential dilemma for publishers. What do you bet on, subscriptions or advertising an iApp? If you bet on a subscription, you're essentially betting on Apple and Google. Let's be clear about what that bet entails. You're turning control over your game, along with your most important customers, to one of these companies. All businesses seek to maintain relationships with their best customers. In addition to their loyalty, the biggest spenders provide insight into the types of products and services they'd like to see from the brand. In the case of game developers, iApp whales are the best customers, so in a sense, a subscription model means turning over your direct relationships with them to Apple or Google.